Hi, I'm Priyanka Evangeline, your internet speech language pathologist, and in this video, I am going to tell you how to teach your autistic or your neurodiverse child in the correct way. Make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel. Turn on the notifications so you get updated of my every weekly videos. Neurodiversity is a term used to denote not just autism but a few other conditions like autism spectrum, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity differences, and other conditions like dyslexia, reading, writing difficulties, learning difficulties, sensory processing difficulties, and other language difficulties which have no reason. The first point to remember is to assume competence. Most often, we identify that our child is a little bit different from us, so we think they know less, or they can perform less, or they are capable of less. We underestimate our children just because they cannot speak or express themselves, or they don't behave like us. First of all, remove this thought from your mind and start thinking of your child as an able human being who can perform the skills that he or she needs, if taught in the right way. Also, this is a very important thing because children tend to believe what they are told. That is, if you keep telling a child they are never going to be good enough, they are never going to do well, they are always making mistakes, they will grow up to be adults who keep doubting themselves, or who don't believe in themselves, or who don't go after their dreams. You can take a few seconds to reflect on your childhood and how your parents talked to you and how that is shaping your character and behavior currently. So you will understand this point. So always presume competence with your child. Assume that your child knows everything and is capable of performing everything, and then you teach them. Even if they don't know many things, assume that they have the capacity to learn, capacity to understand, if you teach them in the right way. Second point, teaching them the right way. What does this mean? It means that there is no one way to teach one skill to all children. That just doesn't happen. With anything in healthcare, with respect to the mind, with respect to the body, there is no one size fits all, because each person is different. When we say we are all unique human beings, what do we actually mean? We mean that our brain, our neurological makeup is different. No two people have the same brain. I mean, the brain does look similar, but the way it works, the way it thinks, the mind is not the same. The third thing I want to tell you is to measure your child's performance by milestones compared to standardized tests. What I mean is tests that are designed for a large group of children, example school tests, are not at all the good way to test a child. You might know all this already. Schools don't test intelligence, they test memory, your ability to hold on to information, or to how well you reproduce this information. This is a good skill to have, but it's not the perfect way to test every child. So when you assess your child's skills, when you think, does my child know this, does my child know that, think in terms of milestones. What should a 1-year-old typically know? What should a 2-year-old typically know? Think in terms of this, and then assess if your child has the skill of it, if your child is lacking the skill, and how to teach that skill. The fourth way you might be making a mistake is to give your child extrinsic reinforcements to speak or to learn any skill. Like for example, if you do this skill, then you get this reward of a chocolate, or of going out, or some things like that. When you give something tangible in their hand, like food especially, it's not a great way to teach your child, because you're conditioning your child to learn or to explore and find joy through play and find joy through talking to people only if there is a reward waiting. That's not how we talk. I don't talk to my friends just because I'm going to get something out of that interaction. I don't talk to my parent or my spouse because I'm going to get something from them. That's not how relationships work. And I told you in my previous video that connection and relationships form the foundation to speak, to communicate. So only if you like a person, you want to talk to the person, you want to share your interest with this person because you trust them, you believe them, you like them, will you want to talk to this person. So when you teach your child, stop giving these rewards, these chocolates, these chips and gems and all this, because this is not going to, this might give you a few words, but it's not going to teach your child the basic foundation skills they need to talk. So communication is always intrinsically motivated. That is, it is intrinsically rewarded. Like I told you previously, I talk because I like to talk, because I want to talk, because I like you. So that is what you need to teach your child. So you know where I'm going with this. If you don't know, watch, I will link my playlist over here. It has information about how to play with your child. Because as you may have already guessed, play is the key to unlock this foundation of communication. Play with your child, bring about their interest and intrinsic motivation to talk. Watch the videos in this link and learn how you can use some strategies and effectively play with your child to teach communication skills. Is to not think about autism as a condition where there are only it's like a line with two extremes of mild and severe. Mild autism and severe autism. It's not like that. There is no mild and severe because it's not a straight line. Like I told you, the way the brain works and the way the mind responds and expresses can vary, and it varies across domains of development or domains of functioning. What this means is it can be physical domain, it can be motor coordination, neurological differences, it can be sensory processing differences, it can be language differences, it can be cognitive differences, it can be emotional differences, social differences. There are a lot of domains of development, and your child's autism can be varying on all these levels. Your child's neurodiverse mind can perform very well in one domain, can perform a little less than expected on the other domain, can be very good at certain things, can be moderately performing in certain domains. So the autism spectrum, I will add a picture, just means that the skills vary from very efficient to less efficient in certain skills. When I say efficient, it means the ability of that child to function and to reach the goals that they want. So these skills, for example, a child may want to walk across the room and get water, but their physical ability might not be allowing them to do that. So then that is a skill that the child is lacking, and then we have to teach the child and support the child in getting what they desire.